The Algo-Chain database has a numerous range of model portfolios in different currencies. The Asset Allocation Wizard allows you to easily select a portfolio. You can select the asset allocation of your portfolio, currency, and several other filters. The wizard should help you select your core portfolio. You might then want to swap some of the ETFs for others, for example a provider of your choice. You might also want to add some specific themes to the portfolio at times or go over and underweight the assets over time, for which the signal analyzer might help you. The Asset Allocation Wizard is similar to the Target Risk Wizard. The only difference is that in one you decide the asset allocation, and in the other the target risk. Additional filters are the same. The Settings button allows you to choose the currency. We have sterling, euros and dollars. For dollar portfolios there are two versions, one with the ETFs listed in Europe, the other one with US domiciled ETFs. Let's say we choose a GBP portfolio. Then you can choose whether you want the portfolio in ETFs or just as an asset allocation model. The latter would allow you to fill your asset allocation with funds of your choice, for example also with active funds. We choose an ETF portfolio here. One can then choose the maximum number of allocations one would like. On some platforms each trade might cost a certain amount, and if the underlying investment amount is small, then I might prefer to have a smaller amount of allocations. That is the settings part done. We first set the asset allocation. Let's choose 30% fixed income, 60% equity, and the remaining 10% we split into alternatives. In our case this is property and commodities. The weights need to add up to 100%. Then I'll choose how I want to rank these portfolios. For example, if I want an all-weather portfolio, I might want to see the results based on the stats over the full backtesting period, which is more than 20 years. On the other hand, if I think that the next year will be similar to the previous one, I might prefer to select a portfolio on the 1-year return and choose one that performed well over the last year. Next, I can set some additional constraints within equities. Let's say I only want an allocation of up to 40% in emerging markets. I can also constrain the allocation to small cap equities, and I can choose whether I want a home bias for equities or not. We have selected a GBP portfolio, so in this case a home bias would mean an overweight to UK equities. Similarly, I can have some constraints for fixed income on emerging markets bonds, how much corporate bonds I want, and whether I prefer a home bias within fixed income. Now that we have set all constraints, go to a search for solutions to see the list of portfolios that fulfills all these constraints. Each dot on the scatter plot corresponds to one portfolio. To the x-axis, we can see the volatility of the portfolio, and on the y-axis, as we have chosen to order them by the long-term average return, we see these returns. In our case there are 46 portfolios for which all these filters apply. Usually one might choose a portfolio that has the highest return for a given volatility. If I hover over a portfolio, I can see some more stats for it, like its asset allocation, return, volatility and maximum drawdown over the more than 20-year period. These stats are based on a simulation of the portfolios assuming fixed weights and rebalancing back to these weights on a monthly basis. If I like the portfolio, I can click on that portfolio and it will fetch the details from the database. I can first see some more statistics for this portfolio, like a more detailed asset allocation and returns and volatility over several periods. Below that are the holdings of the portfolio and some additional information on any of the ETFs and their weights. I can click on the tab for the performance. See a risk-return chart based on the volatility and returns over the last year. And also drill down on the asset allocation. If I like the portfolio, I can save it to my list of portfolios, where I could then make some changes to this portfolio.